So in this week's Torah portion, at the very first verse, is a bit perplexing, because we're told, and God said to Moses, I am the Lord. And ha-Hayyim asks, what's going on here? Like, what have you told me? I already know you're the Lord because you've told me you're the Lord. And why do we have here Elohim, God coming and saying, you are the Lord? Like, how can we make sense of this? And ha-Hayyim, in a very, very long and descriptive commentary, pages upon pages, he wants to explain the many different ways we can understand this. And one of the ways, because also in the continuation, right, God says, the name that I'm coming, and telling you about is not the name the forefathers knew. And what we're getting at here is the Kabbalistic dynamic Godhead. And ha-Hayyim will explain to us in many different ways. He says, first of all, he wants to come and tell them there are two aspects to me. There is the all-compassionate and merciful one. And therefore, even when you, Moses, are rude to me or you're not really the way you should be, I'm compassionate. Why? Because who am I compassionate to? To those that misbehave. So even if you've done something wrong, misbehave. In much the same way, I'm compassionate, and therefore I'm going to come and help the Jews now, the Israelites, even though they should be there for longer. But then there's the other aspect of God where I'm full of judgment. You commit a crime, you're going to have to pay. And there are these, and this two-way understanding of God, of din and rachamim, of chesed and gvura, ha-Hayyim's always alluding also to the Kabbalistic ramification, is an aspect the forefathers didn't know about. And you are going to get to see this. And ha-Hayyim goes into the many different ways of understanding this, how God is actually telling off Moses at times when he says this, how he's also revealing good news, how he's telling him, for example, here's like one of the many things ha-Hayyim says. He says, when God says to Moses, look, there's going to be, all sorts of plagues upon Egypt, then one of the thoughts could be, okay, once you bring a plague upon the Egyptians and the Israelites are amongst us, judgment does not differentiate between the evil and the righteous, but if everyone's in a certain area, like in Sodom and Gomorrah, you're all annihilated. But this is why God says, no, I'm an aspect that the forefathers didn't know about. And that is this aspect that if I choose, can decide that the firstborn are all going to be annihilated as a punishment, but Jewish firstborns, Israeli firstborns will not. Why? Because I'm God and I'm the Lord. There are two ways of viewing me, and there are ramifications to this. And ha-Hayyim really does set the stage for understanding the way God works with the Jewish history, with the Jewish people, and it's very much with a strong Kabbalistic undertone. So thoughts on Vaera. Shabbat Shalom.